this video, we're going to be mounting the front wheel of the motorcycle. This is a difficult task if you only have one helper. Two helpers is an extreme help, but even more so would be the use of a jack. That's what we like to use. Much safer, much easier. We're going to have to remove the front brake caliper and the shipping axle before we get that front wheel in, but it only takes a few simple hand tools. To mount the front wheel, we're only going to need a few simple hand tools. 19mm wrench and 19mm socket are going to help us get the axle that's used for shipping out. The front wheel axle that will go on the bike is going to require a 17 and 15mm wrench. We're also going to use a 12mm socket to help remove the front brake caliper so it's out of our way when we get the wheel on. The first thing we want to do is get the front brake caliper out of the way. He's using a 12mm socket. And then we can kind of just wrap that up in some of the old shipping wrapping just to protect it, get it out of the way. Also, the speedometer. We're going to get the wire off the speedometer. But keep in mind there is a spacer in there, the spindle. We don't want to lose that, so just keep that to the side. And now 19 and 19 to get that shipping axle out. But we're going to work our jack up under that front end. I'm going to use the jack just temporarily to get some pressure off that front end so that he can remove the axle, the shipping axle. Once we get that axle out, we're going to eventually get the front end on the ground. We don't want to continue using that jack because it's uneven, it's not stable. We're even going to just kind of slide it forward and get it on that pad. Now I'm going to remove the jack. And what we want to do is get the motorcycle away from the rest of the crate. So this is where we really kind of have to manhandle this. Now that we have the crate out of the way, we can use that jack again on level, flat ground. We want to make sure the bike is in gear so that the rear wheel won't turn. And then we can get that front wheel off the ground. Now we're going to put the axle spacer on the brake side of the wheel. And then now's an important part. We want to make sure that speedometer gear drive gets put in the slots on the hub. Two things to take note of. One, make sure that the gear drive ears get properly placed in alignment in the slots of the hub, and also that the speedometer wire is on the outside of the fork. You don't want it burning on your tire. Now we're ready to slide the axle from the right side. He's going to tap that with a hammer. And then we can put the motorcycle axle nut on there. We're going to torque that down to approximately 40 foot-pounds. We're using the 15 and 17mm wrenches to do that. And now that we have the axle torqued down, we can attach the front brake caliper. just going to put a little dab of Loctite on there and then use the 12mm socket to remount that brake caliper. He's going to torque that down to approximately 30 to 35 foot-pounds.